Welcome to week 6 notes and lecture. So this week we're going to be talking about your employability profile. And this is again a required piece in your professional portfolio. And this is your homework for this week, due Friday. I think I've mentioned this to you, but your employability profile ultimately is a document that I, as your teacher, will be filling out on you at the end of your senior year. But I want you to take a look at it with me, and I'd like you to grade yourselves in these categories as to how you feel your competencies are at this time. So there are 3 pages, and this document actually is in a Google Sheet document, and so there's 3 pages, and you will see the tabs at the bottom for each 3. As a matter of fact, I can open up Google Classroom really quick and show you which one it is. I'm sure you can figure it out, but so let's see if this is, there we go. Classwork, and it's week 6. So that's not it. Wait a minute. That's not it. There it is. Yeah, so Google Sheets. So you'll see here it opens up in that format. And if you look down here at the bottom, that's where you see the pages. I don't know if you can see my mouse here. So employability cover sheet, that's this first page right here. And then click the next tab where it says 21st century skills. If you click it, it opens up the second sheet, and there's a whole bunch of criteria there. And this video is going to be talking about these 3 pages and what they're asking you. And then your third page, it says employability, and you click it and it opens up, and there's a whole bunch of other things. So this is what I'm asking you to fill out for homework on yourself by Friday. And if you would, up here where it says criminal justice employability, you can leave this, but just pop in your last name right there for me when you save it. Okay? All right, let's go back to our PowerPoint. So, as I said, this is a different, let's see. So, okay, your employability profile is a required piece in your professional portfolio, and it is my assessment of your skills and competencies. And I ultimately will base your final scores in each category on your grades for this quarter or this year, your NOCTI results on that test, and that's going to play a big part in this, and your day-to-day class attitude and effort. Okay. So these instructions you would follow if we were in class together, which is go to your shared with me folder, but it's actually right in Classroom, so you don't have to do all that. As I said, rename it to your last name employability profile, right? And I already mentioned this, there's 3 pages, and your tabs are down here at the bottom. The first is the cover page. My mouse. Okay. So again, if you're doing this at home, you can take longer than 2 minutes. But I'd like you to fill the front sheet out. You know, program title, you can just put criminal justice, 2nd year. CTE school is the Rensselaer. You know what? Put Questar 3. Remember, Roman numeral 3, not the number 3. Questar 3. School address is 35 Colleen Road. Make sure you spell it right. Colleen Road. And if you abbreviate, it's capital RD period. Your phone number, your name, that's a big part, and your address. So if you just double click, you know what? I wonder if I just, yeah. So let me move here. Yeah, so you can double click and it'll open up this. I don't know what the format is here, but if you double click, and I'm actually editing this right now, so that might already be in there for you. Because we don't do these on the first year students. Second year CTE school, Quest Star 3, 35 Colleen Road, Troy, New York. Now, I'm not going to put a phone number because I don't know your phone number, but if you just double click that line and start typing the way I just did, it'll be in there. Okay. Make sure you click save and close. Save and close. Okay. Now, this next area here, it says days absent. You can leave that blank. And you know I'm bad at math, so I gotta calculate here. It says total instructional hours and total practical hours. So you guys, 2.5 hours a day times the school year is 180 days. 180 equals 450, but that's just for 1 year. So times 2 equals, you guys have had 900 hours, 900 hours of instructional hours. And so I'm just going to double click and put 900. And practical hours, you know, these are the hands-on things. Ugh. You know what? This is not that important. This section here isn't. And honestly, your work-based learning is going to be your internship, and you don't know yet what that's going to be. So we can fill this out later. And the community service, you don't have to fill that out right now either. So really, we're just looking at this top part. And all you have to do is put your phone number, your name, your address. And that's it, because I did the rest of it. All right, let's get to the real meat here, which is the second page. And I click it. I'm going to move me over again. So this page is all about the soft skills, skills that everybody should have, skills that are needed and sought after in every career field. It doesn't matter where you go or what kind of work you do. These are good skills that you want to have, or you want to improve, you want to develop if you don't already. So basically the rating scale, and I do want you to fill this top part out, please. Double click for the name, put your name. Double click, and I'll just do this right now. Amy Gillette. Okay, your component school is your home school. Okay, and then the date. And you know what? I'm just going to put 06 June of 2021, because that's when ultimately this will get finished. So you just have two things to fill out here. So the rating scale, I'm asking you to grade yourself from a 1 to a 4 in each and every single item on this page. So a 4 is the highest you can give yourself, and that says excels at demonstrating this performance outcome. You really are like a teacher level at this item. You can teach others how to do these things. A 3 demonstrates this performance outcome. You can do it. You've done it. You're decent at it. You're competent. You're not necessarily an expert. And I would say a 4 is like an expert. 3 is good. It's competent. A 2 says you've demonstrated this performance outcome with assistance. So you need you need some help, but you can do it. And then the 1 is the least, the least score you could get, and it just says performance unacceptable. You don't have this at all. And I'm asking you guys to be honest with yourselves, because this is what's going to kind of clue you in as to maybe areas you want to work on and focus on for this school year, and beyond, really. This is not, you submitting this to me on Friday filled out is what's going to give you a grade. And honestly, you either did it or you didn't. It's either a 100 or it's a 0. I'm not grading you on what you gave yourself as a rating. That is subjective. That is what you think your opinion is of yourself. And then I will reopen this up in June after NOCTI, after I get the NOCTI results, and I'll take a look at those scores you gave yourself, and I will adjust them as needed. Maybe I won't need to, because you're dead on with what you know and what you don't know. So let's just take a quick look. I'm not going to take forever to explain each one of these items. I think most of them are self-explanatory. Certainly you should ask me if you don't know what something is. I don't want you giving yourself a grade when you don't know what they're talking about. So the first section here, it says life and career skills. And under that big category, they have flexibility and adaptability. Adapts to change. How well do you think you adapt to change? Is flexible. How flexible do you think you are? If you think you're very flexible, nothing ruffles your feathers, you'll just change course at the drop of a hat, no problems. Maybe you're a 4, If you deal with, being flexible, about average, like most people, you're probably a 3. If you like, I can be flexible, but I don't like it, you might be a 2. And if you just completely freak out because somebody changed the plan, you're probably a 1. So when you go to give yourself a score, you double click in the box. Now, I want you to pay attention to something. You notice my cursor is left justified, right? And I showed you this in your other word processing documents, left justified, and that's fine. You can leave it there, but I want you to be uniform throughout. So all of your scores are either left justified or they're centered. So if I were to give I'll be honest with you, I don't think I'm a 4 on adapting to change. Lots of people don't like change. I'm going to give myself, I'm going to erase this after, but I'll say I'm a 3. So that's left justified. And if you look up here, right here is where your alignment is, and it's left justified. If I wanted to make that centered, I click the down arrow, and then right there is the center. So if I click that, see how my 3 popped over to the center? So I just want you to keep it uniform so that it looks nice. I don't want your numbers like all over the place. I want them nice and neat, either all left justified or all centered. It's up to you. But I'm going to take that 3 out because it's up to you to decide. Your next category is initiative and self-direction. Manages time, sets goals and priorities, works independently and stays on task, self-directed learner, takes initiative, develops job-seeking skills, attends regularly and on time, social and cross-cultural skills, interacts effectively with others, works effectively in diverse groups, answers phone appropriately, respects self and others, dresses in accordance with industry standards. And remember, we talked about how we're really working on all of these things to go out on your internship in the spring, that I have to feel, honestly, by the time internships come, you really need to be a 3 or higher in most of these areas in order for me to say you're ready to go out on an internship. And then the last one here, maintains personal hygiene. Always important. Productivity and accountability, manages projects, produces results in a finished product or project. And that's it over here. And then under learning and innovation skills, you have creativity and innovation, thinks creatively, works creatively with others, transfers skills or implement innovations, critical thinking and problem solving, reasons and solves problems effectively, uses good judgment in decision making, thinks critically. Communication and collaboration, collaborates with others, communicates effectively, makes eye contact. I mean, we've been talking about a lot of these things, and honestly, some of these kind of overlap each other, I think. So then you have leadership and responsibility. Guides and leads others, accepts leadership roles, is responsible to others and accountable to others, accepts constructive feedback, follows procedures, rules, and laws, takes pride in work. And our last category here is really mostly technology kind of skills. So it says information, media, and technology skills. Information literacy, accesses and evaluates information, uses and manages information, demonstrates technical skills. Media literacy, analyzes media, creates media products appropriate for content area, has functional computer skills. And then information, communication, and technology literacy, applies and uses technology effectively. So just to point out to you guys a few things, you have been using a Google Chromebook. You know how to use a PC because I've seen you. You are very proficient with the Google Drive and the suite of Google products like Google Docs, Google Sheets, right? Google Slides. That's all Google. But then you have Microsoft. And you guys, I don't know how well you do know the Microsoft products, but there's Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and they do they're the counterpart, right, to the Google stuff, Microsoft. So just those things right there make you very technically savvy. But not only that, you've been using apps, you've been using, the Socrative and the Google Classroom and Kahoots and all of these student apps. You use them proficiently with no problem. I know you know how to Google and look at news sites and news articles and read and do all of those things. So I'm betting you're all very, very good in that last category. So that's your second page. We'll take a look at your third page. These, and I know it's small, this is what we call the hard skills. These are all the things specific to criminal justice. And again, this is your grades, your actual grades with both my work in class, your tests, your quizzes, but the NOCD exam kind of informs these scores, because you can't, and a lot of kids, I'm just talking about past experience, kids like to put 4s down for everything. You're probably not an expert in too many things because nobody really is. You can have, you might have a 4 in a few areas, but if I see 4s in every single category, I know you're not being honest with yourself. And it's hard to put a 4 down. Let's just say the Fourth Amendment, you gave yourself a 4, but your NOCD came back and on the rule of law or that category on NOCD, you got like a 70. A 70 is not a 4. So that's where I have to do some adjustment sometimes. But let's take a look. We'll just start here at the top. Again, even though it's all one document, they want you to fill this part out too. So again, by your name, double click and just type in your name. Component school is your high school. And then the date. And I already said I'm going to put in for you 06/2021. And my name is already in there. So it's the same for 4 is above entry level. So you are pretty much an expert. You could teach it to somebody else. 3 is entry level, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a very good grade, very good score. You're proficient. 2, you know it, but you're not super strong in it. And then a 1 is unacceptable. Like, I just don't get it at all. Okay. So it's the same boxes here. You're going to double click and you're going to type 1 through 4 in each box. And again, make sure it's all lined up. This looks like it's, because I already clicked it, defaulted to center. That's fine. Or change it to left justified, whatever you prefer. So your first category, it says related skills. Understands and follows written instructions. Communicates ideas and information in writing. Communicates through spoken language. Communicates ideas to lead and motivate others. So grade yourself in that. Our next category here, it says the rule of law. Understands the purpose of the Constitution. Understands the purpose of the Bill of Rights. Understands the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 8th Amendment. Understands the purpose of criminal law. Understands the purpose of civil law. And understands the purpose of procedural law. That's one category. Our next category, it says court system. Understands courtroom procedures. And I just want to pause here. As you think back to all the work that you did last year and all the projects, right? Mock trial. How many of these things are tied into the mock trial? How many are tied into the courts and law unit, right? So far, all of your book work, the chapter work that you've been doing, all your vocabulary quizzes, all the notes that you've taken, all the hands-on practicals that you did, you've learned a tremendous amount. And it's all right here. So, anyways, we're talking about the court system, understands courtroom procedures, understands the prosecutor's role, the defense attorney's role, the jury's role, the judge's role, understands pre-trial process, understands the trial process, and understands the sentencing process. And we did cover those topics. Going down, they have crime scene management. Demonstrates the ability to secure a crime scene. Demonstrates the ability to search for evidence. Demonstrates the ability to measure a crime scene. Photograph a crime scene. Ability to package evidence. Ability to prepare an evidence log. And understands how to maintain crime scene integrity. And here's another thing. So you did all of that last year, but now we're into week 6, okay, so of this year, and we still have a long way to go. We've been reviewing in our law enforcement unit, but forensics and crime scene is coming up. So we haven't reviewed those things yet. You might not feel as strong right this minute about those things as you will by the time June gets here, because we're going to review. So it's okay to give yourself a lower number for now if you honestly feel. Maybe you totally got it the first time in your junior year and you're like, yeah, I got that. But maybe you were like, yeah, I got it, but not super strong. And now a whole summer has gone by and a whole, another couple months of school have gone by and we haven't even gotten to that yet. It's okay to feel maybe a little weak, but by the time Nocti gets here, you're not going to be, I promise you. You're going to be very confident. Our next category is arrest techniques. And again, just because you guys have been reviewing and practicing, I'm betting you're all going to feel pretty strongly about this category. So can you demonstrate a command presence, communication skills, ability to handcuff, ability to search an arrestee, ability to conduct an interview, ability to write a police report, ability to conduct a high-risk traffic stop, and understands how to deal with special populations. Then we have corrections. Understands the background, and you know what? I'll take forever. You guys can read this right? But they're talking about institutional corrections, classification, corrections officer, community-based corrections, probation, and parole. Then you have police concepts and skills. And it's, the purpose of uniform patrol, characteristics of police, purpose of criminal investigation, purpose of traffic enforcement and drug enforcement, community policing. It understands radio procedures. One of the first practicals you did last year, right? And you did your big write-up. This is why I made you guys do that work. And then we get to fingerprinting. Do you know the right technique to roll fingerprints? Ability to identify fingerprints, dust and lift fingerprints. And then we get to private security, which is our last unit each year. So again, you can just read through this. If there's something that you don't know what it means or what they're talking about, certainly ask me. And then you have a list of certifications here, and this isn't really a number. It's you either got that piece of paper or you didn't. And we're probably going to put yes next to everything, unless you did not do incident command, which we did on distance learning last spring in your junior year. And I'm not sure 100% of the people did it. I know that they didn't. And it's on them to get that piece of paper. It's all there online. It can be done at any time. But if you got it, you want to put an X like that. Yes, you got it. And, we haven't done these other things yet, so we can fill those in later. And that's it. That's your employability profile. So please just go through it and really, think about it, because having you do this now is a way to get you to reflect on what you're confident in, what you feel really good about, and what you don't, so that you can tell me, you know what, I think I need to practice more on this, or can we go back over that? All right. That's why they pay me the big bucks. Okay. I'm kidding. Not really. All right. Bye, guys.